I put up an earlier video on square root method using materials. Today I'd like to look at the same thing with numbers. But before we look at the square root method, I would like to look at a square. So let's say I have a number like 89 that I want to square, right? So I'm going to use a grid, and essentially it's like a plus b whole square. So I put 80 here. These are tens. And I put the ones here, that's 9. So the 80 square is going to give me the 6400. This is the space of 2AB, so that is 2 times 80 times 9. I mean, this is 80 times 9, that is 80 times 9. Together, this is 2 times 80 times 9. So this basically gives you the hundreds. And of course, these can also add up to hundreds, but these are the tens. So 2 times 9 times 8. Tens. And this is basically the 9 times 9, 9 square. So that's 81. So if we calculate this, then you'll get that 64 hundreds, and then you will get 8 9s is 72, 72 double, 144, tens, and then of course you have 81. So that's 1, that's 12, 9 and 7. Of course we have our shortcut method of doing 89 square, which is similar, but you just add the 61 and 64 and 81 directly, and then 8 9s is 72, 144, yeah. So you get the same result. So it's not about the shortcut. The point here is that I can look at the hundreds here, that this number when I square should give me a number that is the hundreds, and then when I do the next step, I am doing this set of squares. So I get the 2 times 80, 2 times 80, and then the 9 has to be both squared as well as get multiplied to that. So if I was attempting a square root of this number, then when I draw the grid, I am looking at how many hundreds is there, and I don't want to exceed that. So that's where I get my first digits. The first digits is basically how many hundreds are there. So that's 8 hundreds, but because it's hundreds I add the 10. So this gives me 6400. So I remove the 6400, right? And then that gives me the remaining. So here you have 15 left, and then you have 21 come down, and then this squares is going to be 2 times 80 times 9, that times whatever digit comes here. So I need to find a digit here, right, that takes care of the fact that it will be as close to this as possible. So that is 2 times 2, because there are this box and this box. So 2 times 80 times what will not exceed it, right? And then I'll have, of course, that digit square. So if this is x, this is, so the result of these two is going to be this, and this is going to be x square. So that is, of course, 160, and 160 you don't want to exceed it, so you use the 9, so that will become 2 times 8 times, that was a 1440, and that you will be left with 1 4 12 81, and that's the x square. So that also is a perfect square, so you get no remainder, that's 81. So that's how the square root method is working with 2 digits you start with the first square, and in the second case you have not only this number, double of that, 2 of 80, that takes care of these boxes. You are doing this, basically this patch. So essentially extending it to 3 digits. Let's say you had a number 245. So then you have 200. Okay, could have used a different color. Hundreds. And then you have 40. And then you have 5. 200 plus 40 plus 5. So one length is 200, then 40, then 5. And then here also you have 245. So now when I look at the square, I will first be looking at this thing is basically 4 and 4 into 10 to the power of 4. 4 zeros, right? So this results in 4 zeros. These two results in 3 zeros each. So this guy will be 2 times 200 times whatever was a digit. In this case we have 4 or 40, right? Then this one will have basically 2 zeros. So this one corresponds to 1600s. These two will also correspond to hundreds, and this will correspond to your 2 times 200, right? These two, 2 times 200 times 5. So that's why the 200 always gets doubled, you see that. And these two, I should have used this color, correspond to 40 times 5. So this is a 40 times 5. This is also 40 times 5, right? So this one is actually giving you 2 times 40, okay, times 5, right? And then this of course is 5 square. So when we are doing the long division method for square root, as it's called, the first digit, which is going to be the 2, is going to be compared with whatever the result of this is.